What is up, guys? I'm back, and today we got a little bit of a different video. Well, not really even a video, kind of like a podcast type thing, and I'm kind of struggling here. I don't know what to name it. I don't know what to name the podcast, so if you guys have a name in mind, comment it down below, because I don't know what I should name it. And so basically, guys, what I'm going to be doing is I have it set up on a webcam, so it's a lot easier on me, so I don't have to take the GoPro and try to edit it all together. With this, I'm just recording it on OBS, and basically what it should be doing is just filming me right now, but then I have some other scenes where I can set up to where I can just click it and it'll show you my screen and like a webcam of me in the corner or just my screen. So that's what we're working with. Now, I did some fiddling with the webcam, guys, and basically before I had it, the audio on the webcam wasn't the greatest thing in the world, and the video was kind of like, it kind of seemed like, if you guys know what this means, like the contrast, it kind of seemed like it got turned up, like it was darker on the screen. Well, on OBS, you can actually control it to where you can turn it down and like adjust it to what you want it to look like. You can turn the contrast up or down, and there's some other stuff you can look at. So I fiddled with that, so hopefully it looks better. And I actually got the microphone, the HyperX Quadcast, and it's actually a really good microphone. I have it recording the audio, so hopefully it'll be recording the audio of the podcast. So guys, I gotta remember to keep this microphone near me because I just realized I had it sitting on the side and it was not near me, so I want it to pick up good audio quality. So I'm gonna make sure if I'm talking to the camera, I'm gonna have it right here, and if I'm looking at the screen, it's gonna be right here. So basically, for right now, I'm just gonna be holding it in my hand. So basically, guys, I actually kind of want to mention something. Coming up on September 1st, it's going to be my 7th year on YouTube. See, yeah, right here it says my 6th. So it's going to be my 7th year on YouTube. And if you guys don't know, this channel has not been around for 7 years. I'm going to be honest here. But my first video post on YouTube was not on this channel. And it was posted on September 1st. Probably it would have been 2014. So it was quite a bit ago. And so basically when I say, yeah, it's my 7th year on YouTube, it's my 7th year since my first video, so it technically is my 7th year on YouTube. And so basically, I kind of want to pick out, like, what is my favorite videos of my 7th year on YouTube? And there's a lot of good ones out there. So I'm going to be going off of starting from when I got a quad all the way up until literally my newest video, which is actually on the Suzuki. The Suzuki's better than ever, so going down. I got a quad. That was a very good video. Some of the first clips of the Suzuki. Now, if you don't know, let's click on this. The Suzuki you see now, the yellow one, I did wreck it. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is the picture of when I wrecked the Suzuki. Yeah, very unexperienced. So we went to ride, and we're going down these big hills, and I was new to riding. Same with Max, and we were both, like, scared as crap going down these hills because, like, you just don't know. It's scary. So basically, we went down these hills. We finally got down, relief, and I went down, and I seen this huge, like, this massive mud hole, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, I want to go in that. So I'm like, can I go in that? So I went in that, and the first time I dropped down, and it was a steep drop off. I'm like, okay. I was like, phew. That felt like I was about to flip. So I went in a second time, and I went all the way to the side, which seemed to be that it wouldn't be that bad of a drop off, and I'd just be able to just go right down, make it through just fine. Well, funny story, I went down there, and I think it got to me that I was like, okay. I went down, and I was going very slow. I was making sure I went slow because I didn't want to flip. And I had no experience. You guys got to remember, I had no experience. And I just went down, and it was kind of like slow motion. Flip forward. I remember the back of the grab bar hit my neck. I jumped off. I was covered in mud, as you guys can see. The quad completely flipped over, and And so I was just walking away from it. They're like, we gotta flip that back over. We gotta flip that back over. And I did not know that back then. Granted, I mean, it's kind of stupid. I didn't know. Because I didn't know anything about engines. I had no prior experience or anything with any of that. So I was like, I didn't know. I was so disoriented. So I just kept walking straight. And then finally, I turned back. I just see a Suzuki flipped over, and from there, we grabbed the bungee cord, hooked up to the Raptor, towed me home. Definitely a scary experience. It wasn't starting up at all. We tried to bump start it. It did bump start, but we had the choke on. And me back then, this is how unexperienced I was. I didn't really know much about choke, so it literally sounded. It was revving up so high. It literally sounded like it was gonna explode. So I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this quad. I'm like, it's gonna explode. So I cut it off quickly, and it sounded like the engine was gonna break. It sounded like it was gonna blow up, and I'm not like physically. It just sounded like it was just gonna break completely. So I was like, you know what? No. I turned it off, and that was honestly the best chance we had of bump starting it. So no, we just towed me home, and once we finally started loading them up, the Suzuki started. So. And then after that, took it home. It was smoking and all that, so we were like, all right. So, I think I actually have, here's a picture of the mud hole. So, guys, if you see the mud hole here, I actually tried to go over here because I thought, it's not as bad as over there. Because you guys got to understand, right there is where I flipped. But the first time I went down into it, it was right here. Now, guys, I am so happy because, the water level was actually, fun fact, the water level was low in this mud hole. It was low because it was summer, real hot, it was dry, extremely dry out. So, a lot of that water that normally is in that mud hole actually was soaked up, and it was actually at a lower water level. And this water right here was already up to my Nerf bars. And if you guys can see, I'd assume the water went up to here. So it was actually going to be pretty deep if, say, there was no drought, no dryness, no nothing. And if it was up to its regular level, I didn't know back then, if it was up to its regular level, the water, I feel like it probably would have went up pretty high. I don't know if I would have made out because the Suzuki's only 2-wheel drive. But, so yeah, right there I flipped it. And over there, I think the first time I went over, it was around this area. So you can obviously see how I thought, right here is going to be way safer than right here. Well, yeah, funny story, it's not. So basically, flipped there. I started walking out of the mud hole there. I was so disoriented. It's like you don't want to believe it when it happens. It's like you just don't want to believe it. So that was probably the craziest thing I have done to the Suzuki, honestly. Probably the craziest thing. But I got another story. So another time, guys, when we were riding, I don't got no video, no photos or anything of this. So, I was riding the Suzuki. And we were kind of on a gravel trail. And, me and Max, we were a little bit more experienced. So basically, when I flipped the quad there, my experience level really wasn't that high. So basically, that was probably less than a month of having the Suzuki is when I flipped it. Well, it might have been mid-September. We were riding on a gravel trail. I'm hauling because I'm having fun. I will admit, I got a little bit too comfortable. And I was hauling. Max was right behind me, and next thing you know, I go over this little bump, and right next to me is a straight drop-off into a creek. So it was a pretty big drop-off, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not doing this. So the Suzuki goes forward, it starts going, and next thing you know, if I had to guess my speed, we might have been going 25, 30. I don't know. I can't quite remember. And obviously a Suzuki doesn't have a speedometer, so I don't know my speed, but we were going fast, I will admit. And next thing you know, I start veering off the trail. I started veering off the trail, guys. And when I started veering off, I'm like, oh shoot, the drop off is right next to me. So I'm like, I can't go off that. So I jumped off the Suzuki, and then my shoulder slammed off a tree. I fell down, and the Suzuki, next thing you know, I get up, and I see, well, I'm still laying on the ground actually at this point, and I see Max go across. He just lays on the brakes, and he looks back. He's like, oh my God, are you okay? And then I get up, I walk to the middle of the trail, and this is like really disorienting. I look back and I see the Suzuki just completely, front bumper just completely crushed in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm praying. You know, I'm praying that I didn't break it again. Like, I'm hoping I didn't break it again. And, broke the front bumper. We were able to get off. I wasn't off the ledge, luckily. It didn't fall off. It ran into the tree. I think it was, I could be wrong, but I think it was a little bit more in front of me. To where, if I would have crashed there, it would have went off the ledge, the Suzuki. But I personally, if I stayed on the Suzuki and crashed into that tree, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know if I would have, like, slammed into the handlebars. And personally, I didn't really want that to happen. So I jumped off pretty much unscathed. And, yeah, it was crazy. Like, you don't really, it's like I started veering, and I still remember the exact moment I started veering. I just don't know why. It just goes to show you, when you're not that experienced, you have absolutely no reaction. You have no reaction to veering off the trail, because I look back even after I did it, like a day after, and I'm like, why didn't I just turn the handlebars? I guess I was so swept up in, I don't want to have to, I don't want to take my chances. If I did veer, who knows? I don't know if I would accidentally, I probably would have swerved to the other side. The other side was just a little mini bump. That would have been a lot better crashing into than into a tree there. But I don't know if I would have been able to turn it like that. But so yeah, I don't know why. That was probably one of the craziest stories with the Suzuki. Probably, I will admit, that was more of like a violent, a violent crash. Like, it was fast speed and all that. But my other crash was like slow motion. So yeah, those are the two crashes I have. But back on topic, we need to get back onto. Okay, guys, so I got extremely off topic there. So back on the topic here. So basically, I got a quad. Great video. Good video. It's just me riding around. Some of the first clips of the Suzuki here. Literally the first. Some of the first clips of the trails. All that goodness. Then we go into the nightmares. That was... It was a struggle because, well, you can ask Max. It was definitely a roller coaster to film, because when we were filming, guys, basically, I ended up having to film it. I think we were like a week or two off schedule. Stuff came up and I got busy, so we were a week or two off schedule with filming that. So, of course, we're already automatically in a panic, like, hoping that, oh, shoot, we gotta get this up. We gotta get this filmed in time, because I've never filmed something to that extent, to that extent. Like, the only prior experience I had to filming Nightmares was the first ever Nightmares, and it was absolutely garbage. And basically how that Nightmares went is I was gonna make it into... I didn't finish filming the movie, because I started filming it, like, literally a week before Halloween, when I was going to post it. And I basically... I didn't finish filming it, so I'm like, okay, I'll make this into, like, a TV series type thing. Like, I'll post, like, another episode. Like, each week I'll post an episode of it. Well, that never really turned out. So, basically, if you do watch that Nightmares, I came out, obviously, and I went to the door, and that's when it ended. I went to Max's door, and that's when it ended. We basically loosely based our nightmares that we filmed off of that nightmares, because we wanted to go with that same storyline, but we wanted to actually be able to finish the movie, have better filming in it, have better editing and all that. So we started filming it. Things were going smoothly. Well, the first day, I think it was, lighting was extraordinary because I actually wanted to start filming earlier. Stuff came up, like I said, and basically we ended up, I think I wanted to film at like 12 or something. 12, like noon. I wanted to film then, so I think and we ended up then filming at like 2, and I was like, I'm not too happy about that, but whatever. So, but it is what it is. Stuff came up, so we started filming out there, and actually, definitely, probably not a regret at all, actually, because when we started filming at like 2, the lighting was amazing. Like, it was absolutely great for the movie. It looked amazing, and I was very happy, actually, with filming at 2. So, basically, first day went by smooth, but you gotta understand, we weren't even going by a script. We were just making this stuff up on the fly. So me and Max went out there. I kind of had an idea of what I knew of, like, what I wanted to film, and Max, we were just like, we were going through, and then, we were like, oh, we were actually both, like, we were having good ideas. It was going so perfect. Like, we're like, okay, how about, you do this, do this, do this. It was going amazing, actually. First day, absolutely awesome. Then when we get into the scene of me looking through the closet, there was a scene, and one scene, Max, he had socks on. He had socks on. And this may sound like absolutely ridiculous, but this threw us off course because I don't want people to be like, oh, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but to me, that stuff, like, would bother me a little bit, because in one scene, Max had socks on, in the other, he did not have socks on. So we basically had to refilm just a scene, I think it was, but it was a longer scene. From there, it was going pretty good. I knew what I wanted to do, and all that. And then we come up towards when it was nighttime. And for everybody that has a GoPro, seriously, I want you to know this. Like, I seriously want you to know this. We were filming with the GoPro Hero 7. And basically, I didn't have the Hero 8 back then. So we were filming with one camera this whole movie, so it was a struggle. But point being, we started filming, it's just getting darker, and you guys gotta understand, for some reason, I never planned ahead of time for what I wanted to do during the night scenes. So I had no clue what I wanted to do, or nothing. So we were out there trying to think of stuff, trying to think of what we're gonna do for the scenes and all that. And then it starts getting darker and darker and darker, and we're starting to struggle with the lighting. We don't got lights. All we had was the one strobe light that we had, and you could turn that onto a setting to where it was just a light. So we're doing that, and still the camera was so far away you could barely see us. So I was upset, though, that the GoPro wasn't filming good in the dark. Like, it wasn't filming the greatest in the dark. And so yeah, but it is what it is. Next time, I actually did get something. I learned, like, me and Max were learning, like, how to do these movies as we're doing them. So you can't expect to see, like, a little bit improvement. Because this year, for Nightmares, I'm going off a script because it went so well with Spy Kid, the script. And I actually got this. This is actually for scuba diving. You mount it. I think basically what you do is you mount it on the tripod, and the GoPro can go on top, or I think or it can go. No, yeah, I'm right. Yeah, so this goes on the tripod, and the GoPro goes on top, and it's a lighting. It's extremely bright. I think it might be charged. I think. Wait, let's see. Okay, it's charged. It's charged. All right, so there's some settings. I know it's so bright to the camera. There's some settings. This is the highest setting. Here's the lowest setting. Here's a medium. And here is the brightest setting. So, hopefully this will help us with nightmares. I don't know, like, I hope it does, because we really did struggle with the lighting, like, a ton. And hopefully this will help out. I haven't really got to put it to use for any of my videos yet, because I don't really film at night, so I don't really need this except for nightmares. Or if I do somehow end up, like, we're late or something for filming, and I do have to film at night. Like, this thing is actually handy to have. Very impressed with the lighting, but we'll see. Haven't tried it at night yet. But, so yeah, we'll see how that turns out. But, yeah, Nightmares was just, like, crazy to film. Crazy. Didn't have, you know, it. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets about it, is that I had nothing planned out ahead of time. Like, I kind of knew, loosely, you know, knew what I kind of wanted to do. But at the same time, towards the end, I don't know, I guess I didn't really know what I wanted to do and everything. So it was very stressful trying to be like, oh, we got to do this, lighting, this, that. So it was absolutely nuts. And, so, what else? Let's see some other stuff. Alright, so we got some other videos here, guys. So, Nightmares. We found a secret mud pit. Definitely amazing video. Really fun to film. I mean, when we first got down to the mud pit, we were like, oh. We kind of had, like, really high expectations. Like, the bikes were just gonna sink or something. And, of course, me and Max didn't think that far. So we get down there, we're just driving around. I was like, oh. So then, luckily, we found a little bit of a hill climb. So I did that. Mudfest. Great video. It was a great video, but my quad videos were 2 months apart there, so I still wasn't posting quad videos on the frequent. But Mudfest was actually a fun video. It was a fun video, and I did get better between those 2 months. My first ever snow ride, very fun. I was very excited for that video. The part 2, still also very fun. The thing I do struggle with though in the snow is. The thing I mainly struggle with, like, in, like, the cold, is my goggles. If you do want to wear them, like, for some reason, they fog up. So, I don't know why. So, I mainly just wear these, like, little riding glasses I have. So, I'll just wear those in the winter. But in the summer, I'm fine with wearing the goggles. Introducing the new Suzuki LTZ 250. Guys, this was awesome because I got a new sticker kit for the Suzuki. Looks amazing. A lot of people actually like the sticker kit, and I was actually very, very happy with how it turned out. And, you know, I've never really put a sticker kit on before. Of course, I had help, and it turned out good. I liked it. I think it turned out pretty decent. Oh, here's me talking. Wait a minute. Let's get to the Suzuki. So, fun fact, actually, with this, I had pictures, but for some reason I couldn't find the pictures that I had of, like, our results. Like, they were, like, we were, like, going, like, it was our pictures of, like, of our progress that we were making. I couldn't find them and of course, after I post the video, I found all the pictures. So, I was going to put them in the video. There were going to be, like, progress. There were going to be progress pictures, but here's a Suzuki. The sticker kit turned out so well. So happy about it. So that is the sticker kit. It actually it turned out amazing. Come through here, the first ever RC car hill climb. Well, the first ever RC car video on my channel. Fun fact, RC cars, Max was actually the one to get into them first. So I wasn't the one that got into them first, and Max was. He was talking about these RC cars. I'm like, you know what? I'll get one so I can drive it with him. We'll see if this is fun. And little did I know I got an RC car, and then it pretty much from there just turned into an obsession. It pretty much, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it just turned into an obsession. So we have the Mud Pit Expedition. Oh my gosh. That was probably definitely one of my favorite videos. I was so hyped when it went up because, like, our goal was to get up the Mud Pit Hill, and we did. We did. And if you guys haven't seen this video, please go check it out, guys. It is actually a pretty good video. Then up here, we have insane RC car stunts, broken suspension. Well, the suspension actually, like, unscrewed itself, and I actually did think it was broken, and I thought it was lost, but, yeah, go check that video out, guys, too. If you are interested into the RC car series, like, that was one of my first times driving Drift Concept off-road. I mainly just drove it inside, because with the snow and all that, it's not like you can really drive them outside. Snow riding, burnouts, and getting stuck. That was really fun video to film. We had a bumper cam onto the Raptor, and it actually turned out pretty good. And I was very happy with this video. And it was just overall fun to film. It's obviously fun riding in the snow with the Suzuki, but I do miss, like, when you're riding in the snow, you can't really go that fast. You gotta go slow, so, because if you do go fast, like, obviously, your RPMs are just going, because you're just spinning tire. Sandy Lane Drift Concept walkthrough. Yeah, this video, I don't know why I added in the part of me cleaning it. Not too sure why I added that in, but I did. It was just a walkthrough, so it was like a walkthrough and a review. Spiked tires on my RC car, bad idea. That video was okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I wasn't too impressed with it, really, like, at all. But it is what it is. You experiment with stuff, and you just see what works. And you see what works, what looks cool, and that was definitely not something that worked. Did it look cool? Kinda, but I don't know if it really worked. Team Alba Racing Raptor 700 Nerf bar installation. Good videos, just showing people how to install the Nerf bars. Going over big logs, crazy quad swap. That was a fun video because, that was a fun video. Yeah, that's when I started really going over, like, the bigger logs and stuff. And, I was a little bit mad because with my editing software, you have to, like, I have Filmora, so you have to render the video so make sure it has, like, good quality, the video. And so this one kind of turned out a little bit pixely, so I wasn't really that happy with it. But you still get to see what was going on in the logs I was going over, so it was actually pretty fun. Pursuit, the movie, oh my gosh. It took me and Max forever to film this, because we were trying to do a behind the scenes. Behind the scenes turned out we weren't doing it correctly. We were dragging around another tripod, trying to set that tripod up, while we were trying to actually set up the movie. So, turned out like, the movie turned out absolutely amazing, but it was terrible to film. It was terrible to film. It took forever. But you can ask Max. It honestly did take forever. But it was really fun to film. It was really fun to see the end result and, you know, see how it turned out. I was very excited about it, and it turned out pretty good. When I got the Beast, oh my gosh. The Beast was fun. It was my biggest RC car that I had. Then I got the Typhon, but we're coming up on that. It got out of hand. Great video. I liked it. I was learning how to wheelie. My bike we thought had a flat. Well, it did have a flat tire, my bike, but then we fixed that later on. So, in this video, I was actually using Max's bike. Huge zombie raid on Village. Yeah, my Minecraft series never really do turn out that great. I mean, like, they do turn out. Like, the videos I do, like, I post them, but, like, I never really get into the series myself. Like, as you guys can see right here, like, I post one video, like, it was gonna be, like, me going to the end and all that, but then next thing you know, I start getting back in. I start going on to RC cars, getting back into that. And, so, yeah, we got the WL toys. Spent a lot of time upgrading it. A lot of time. Just for it to break. So, I went out and bought the Typhon 3S. Well, later on, I actually switched. I got the Typhon 6S, and gave Max a Typhon 3S since his RC car was broken that he had, and you'll see that RC car in the movie. This is buggy. So, if I'm being honest right now, Full Throttle with Typhon 6S. Honestly, probably one of my favorite videos of 2021. And let me tell you why. So, the Typhon 6S, that was probably, when the tire exploded, that was so, like, it was so hype. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, my reaction in that video, I was yelling, of course, because, like, I full throttle, I'm like, let's get some good GoPro footage with the GoPro camera on top, and let's just see how it looks. Well, I full throttle, and it pops a massive wheelie, like, it scrapes the spoiler off the ground, and GoPro falls off, tire bursts, I slam the brakes, then the GoPro falls off, but the tire bursted, crazy, even the plastic broke. Fun fact, a lot of you probably would think that I would just obviously throw the tire away afterwards, but no, I did not. Here's the tire right here. I'm keeping it probably for the fact that, like, that's not gonna happen again. It's not gonna happen ever again, probably. And just it even ripped off the plastic. So yeah, I was shocked when that happened. And I was trying to, I think the tires were actually cracking a little bit before. So I put Gorilla Tape on the inside of the tires. Maybe, that will reinforce it. Well, turns out, no, it completely ripped it and it exploded. It was crazy. So my reaction to that video was 100% nuts. It was crazy. Like, it exploded. Max, like, what happened? Because it sounded like it was loud. And I just didn't expect that to happen. I think it's more or less because with the Typhon, a lot of the power was going to the front end of it, like the front tires. And because we need a thicker diff fluid in it. And we did put a thicker diff fluid. It kind of helped, we think. But I think we need an even thicker one. But so basically, I think it's because I wheelied and those tires had no friction off the ground to keep them from ballooning. So they fully ballooned because I was full throttle with it, full throttle. So that was definitely probably it was a pretty fun video. I was very hyped. I was like I kind of want to I just kind of want to see what people think of that. Like, it's crazy because I thought it was pretty crazy too. So yeah, definitely probably one of my favorite videos was definitely when the Typhon 6S had that tire explode. It wasn't even just because of the factor of, like, the tire exploded, because that definitely was one of the main reasons, but it was just so fun to film. We were having so fun. And if I am right, I think in that video, my tire exploded, so I started filming Max a little bit with his RC car. Turns out his RC car didn't have enough fluid in his shocks, so his shock was, like, just compressed. I'm like, Max, you might have a bent shock shaft. So we try to bend it back and all that, and of course, none of that's working. So we put shock fluid in it that I had, and it works. So it was compressing now, and it's perfectly fine. So yeah, his shock was like, it was like stuck in. I don't know if you can see it really in the video, but definitely go check that video out if you are interested into the RC car series. So coming up, the Ultimate Off-Road RC Drag Strip. It was interesting to see what RC cars, would beat one another, what RC cars would, do better against one another. And I think they all did pretty good. It was fun to do that video. And going up to here, hitting huge backflips on a tree. That was a fun video to film. Fun fact, we filmed that video after we filmed the off-road drag strip. So that was 2 videos in one day. We were going crazy with the RC cars that day because we weren't using much battery in that first video. So we're like, hey, why not mess around a little bit? We got the GoPros out here, so why not just film our video? So that's what we did. Epic RC Car Freestyle. Definitely an amazing video, the Epic RC Car Freestyle, because those are some of the biggest jumps that we've probably hit with those RC cars. That's when we first really started, like, jumping them like that. Like, that was a fun video to film. It was just obviously fun just to mess around a little bit, set up a course, just go around. It definitely was a long video, though. It was longer than Nightmares. we're back. That was just, saying the Suzuki's back and all that. Bad idea, huge wheelie. I wheelied it. Before a little bump in the trail, I tried to wheelie it. Definitely a pretty big wheelie. When I first got the Suzuki, first time I got it, I don't know if I was sitting in the back or what, but I just tapped the throttle. I was like, went right up. and I was like, oh gosh. And then the Suzuki broke. That's when the Suzuki, probably not one of the best times in the Suzuki's history, wasn't doing that great. A lot of issues. And so basically I had to improvise. It's back. It was basically a video with the Genesis. It's all fixed and all that. So why not mess around a little bit with it? We almost had a head-on collision. Oh, that video? Yeah, Max came out, with all the brush and all that. It's hard to see. Max came out. I came out. But we hit our brakes, so we were all fine. The Ramp of Doom. Fun fact, I actually filmed that video in springtime. Never got around to posting it, really. I was kind of editing it here and there. And it really did. It took a while to edit because I was keep switching camera angles. So it's kind of hard to, edit with... It's kind of hard to edit like that. Spy Kid Episode 2. Guys, go check this out if you haven't already, because it was so fun to film. We have actually a behind the scenes of it right here. Really fun to film. And we went by a script, so it went by actually, it was pretty easy to film. And because we had a script, we knew what we were doing. We just had our lines and everything. We just did it. Like I said, guys, we're learning as we go. So that was our first time doing a script, and personally, I'm probably going to end up doing that again with Nightmares, because I already do have a script written out, but I kind of want to extend it. Testing new Badland tires. I was just testing new Badland tires. Pretty casual video. Ocean City vlogs. Very fun vacation. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had some fun watching these videos. I got a considerable amount of content. I was very happy with the content that I got. The Suzuki's better than ever. That is the truth. That was probably the best the Suzuki has ran since I've gotten it. Very happy with it. And we took it to a mechanic, fixed it all up. Let's read off all the issues it had. So guys, here's all the issues it had. So yeah, we took the Suzuki to a mechanic, got it all fixed up. The choke was not running right. The starter was sticking. And when you would rev it up, it'd take a while for the RPMs to drop down. It was having some backfire too. I don't know if it was running rich or too lean. There's a clicking sound coming from the rear after we had all those diff issues. You guys probably know about that if you've watched the truth video about the Suzuki. The rear was also leaking diff fluid. Yeah, fun fact, it was leaking diff fluid. And the rear brakes would lock up. I'm sure there's other issues. I know the choke wasn't running right. So yeah, that's probably all of them actually. We got a new starter in it. I think the diff fluid issues all fixed up. There's not even really a clicking sound. There's not even a clicking sound from the back anymore. So it's doing good. The Suzuki is actually doing really good. So yeah, guys, I pretty much talked about everything I really do want to talk about. I mainly had it set up so I could talk about Nightmare Spy Kid, my 7th year on YouTube. It was a good, definitely. It's not over. I still have a month. And it was definitely a good 7th year. But I do have one thing left to show you. This is something probably none of you know about me at all. I got an engine. I'm very happy about it, actually. I got this probably springtime of 2021, and we actually got it for, I think it was $5 when it's worth $80. We found it at a yard sale. It was pretty fun. It's a pretty cool engine here. Basically, we got the engine, just the regular engine. I'm not too sure all about this. This engine's actually for a RC airplane. So it's a petrol RC airplane. If you don't know what petrol means, that means like it's the fluid that goes into it's like I'm pretty sure what goes into these is two-stroke. So I'm pretty sure it's oil and gas. But I could be wrong. But all I do know personally about this is that it's made in Japan and it's made for RC airplanes. And if you guys do see, I think, yes. Let me try to show you here. Look, the piston moves in it. You want to be looking in this hole right here. So look, the piston moves in it. So from what I do understand, I think this thing should work. If you were to put it into an airplane, I don't know if I ever will do that. For right now, it's just been sitting around. I don't know if it's ever been in an airplane or ever ran before. It literally looks brand new. So, oh, another thing, here is the throttle. Right here's the throttle. So you can see right here. Look in this hole right here. Closed off gas, here's throttle. And it lets in a little bit gas. A little bit of gas, some gas, some gas, some gas. And then that's full. Right here's full throttle, so it's wide open. So this is the engine. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about it really. It's got this. I don't know what this is for really. I don't know much about RC car airplanes. I don't know much about RC airplanes. I just call it an RC car airplane. No, so that goes to show I'm mainly into these things. So I'm not into airplanes that much. But this is kind of like a show and tell, guys. So it comes with this. It comes with all this other stuff, guys. And I'm sure like it has the stuff that, you know, it tells you how to make it run. And I don't know. I mean, it's a cool little engine. It's just a cool little thing to have. I've never had one, so I've never had one. I'm not really into RC car airplane. Oh my god, I said RC car. I'm not into RC airplanes. And, I don't know, it's a little cool thing, just because it caught my attention since I'm into that type of stuff. It caught my attention, and I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool, actually. So, it's cool. I think, though, if we did put it in something, it would work. But, I don't know if it can go into an RC car, or if it has to go into an airplane. But, so no, I'm sure you can buy those RC airplanes. I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can just buy them with just nothing in them. Nothing. And, so yeah. So, yeah, I've talked about pretty much everything I wanted to talk about, so I can just... Okay. So, yeah. So I talked about everything I want to talk about, guys, and that sticky note had everything I want to talk about on it, so that's pretty much everything I want to talk about. I don't know how long this podcast turned out. I'm assuming, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, right here it says 46 minutes, but I've cut clips sometimes, so probably it's going to be around an hour, so hope you all enjoyed this podcast, and I actually made it like podcast length, which I'm actually kind of shocked about. And, so yeah, so let me know if you like this podcast. If you guys do like it, I'm going to keep it on the main channel. I plan on posting this on the main channel. And then if you guys really like it, I will keep it on the main channel. If you guys did like this podcast, let me know. It was around podcast length, which I'm pretty shocked. I'm shocked it wasn't shorter. And, so yeah. So September 1st will be the 7th year since my first video ever on YouTube. And I've come a long way. It went from gaming to now bikes, RC cars, quads. So it went from that to that quickly. So yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.